I'm Michael Ronimus. I'm a research assistant professor at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. I work on the genetics of autism. This is a field that's seen great advances in the last 5 to 10 years, and a lot of that work has been done here at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. So the first question that most people ask is, what is autism? Well, it's probably more accurately termed Autism Spectrum Disorders. So autism is a set of developmental disorders that are generally observed in young children. So we'll say between the ages of 1.5 and 4 years of age. And they're characterized by a number of different behaviors, one of which is defects in speech or sort of delays in speech, and this is both in understanding speech and being able to generate speech. And there are other hallmarks of autism, which are not seen in all cases, but in many, which can include stereotyped interests and repetitive behaviors. There's often, but not always, some degree of cognitive impairment. The incidence has now been registered as being as high as 1 in 68 children receiving a diagnosis. And that seems like an incredibly high number. So what causes autism? A lot of things cause autism, but the main thing are genetic causes. So autism was known to be largely genetic, but there were not many families in which you could actually see an autistic child and an autistic parent. So this sort of goes against what we know about Mendelian genetics or classic genetics. Normally you see a trait, it might be in a parent or it might be in one child. Both parents might contribute some allele that underlies the disorder. This is largely not the case with autism. It's sporadic, meaning it's not in either parent, nor is there a family history, but it does appear in children. So some of the major advances that have allowed us to understand the genetics of autism better have been made here at Cold Spring Harbor. One of the first of these is that the human genome can be missing large chunks of DNA, or can have extra large chunks of DNA. And this discovery was made here about 10 years ago in the group of Mike Wigler, with which I'm affiliated. This is the type of high-profile research and cutting-edge research that is characterized what Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory has done over the years. And building on this, we were able to look at families. We look at the parents and affected children, and in some cases, their unaffected sibling. What we found is that a lot of affected children had a new piece of DNA missing or duplicated that was not present in their parents. A few years after this, and most recently, we've developed the ability to cheaply sequence entire genomes. And we now can look at the individual nucleotide level. So in an individual human genome, there are 3 billion base pairs. So we can find a single nucleotide that's changed in a child that can sometimes lead to autism. Normal in the parents, mutated in the child. And they mess up the protein that is encoded by that gene. And when you see a sporadic disease, so not present in either parent, but present in the kid, that's often due to the fact that there is a new mutation that's present only in that child. What benefit will this research have for individuals who are diagnosed with autism? Well, the hope is if we can identify the individual genes that are mutated in different cases of autism, we will be able to design therapies that are specifically meant or optimized to treat a specific type of autism. And we've collected a lot of data so far. We started to find the same genes being hit more than once. But the ultimate goal of this is for parents to be able to do genetic testing on their children if they're diagnosed with a developmental disorder like autism or other neuropsychiatric disorders, and for a therapy that is optimized for the treatment of that disorder to be applied quickly and with the best results possible. We still don't know all the causes of autism, but we know a lot more than we did 10 years ago. The work that's being done at Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory is pushing this research forward, and I think within 10 years we will have a much better understanding of what causes autism and how to treat it.